up.
Coming for you. There was a book. Welcome to Chump Change, everybody, the post show where we hear all about the truth behind the lies, and we're once again joined by our cast of Chilled, Meg, Michael, and Diction. Welcome back, all. We were laughing before this, or at least discussing further the medical technician who told Meg that iodine was monkey blood and how that would ever calm any child down.
Oh, I thought it was cool. I was legitimately like 5 years old, and I thought it was super cool, and it made a ton of sense to me at the time that you would just rub blood on more blood to get it back in there. And it was one of those things that you just never think about critically till I was about like 15 years old. And then I was like, oh yeah, I got in an accident once as a kid, like bashed my knee open, and they gave me monkey. Wait a second, that doesn't sound right. Oh my god, I was lied to.
You know, the healing properties of monkeys is often talked about in lore and legend.
My childhood is filled with gullible story. I'm just very gullible.
Meg left that conversation and she was like, Santa's going to hear about this. This is crazy. What's going on here? Monkey blood.
While we're talking to Meg about the stories, I want to hear about this man of war. What was the situation? Why did you rub a Portuguese man of war?
Can we talk about, once again, Chilled Mr. Magooing his way into the correct answer, which is that there are Portuguese man of war in the Gulf of Mexico, which is where I was.
Yeah, I was lying about everything.
Yep.
So they're not just in the Pacific. I went to the beach in South Padre Island here in Texas, and I was like 3 or 4. I was very young. And I was playing in the sand, and I saw this Portuguese man of war that washed up, and I thought, that's my new octopus friend that I'm going to hug. So I picked it up, and I was really little, so it was like quite big for me, and I gave it a big hug, and I even remember like, I was like it was squishy, so I like brought my knees in too to get in the squish.
Oh my god.
And then all hell broke loose because it hurt super bad, obviously. And I was screaming bloody murder, and I was screaming about an octopus hurt me, and my mom was like, what the hell are you talking about? So she found the Portuguese man of war, and then they covered me in meat tenderizer and put me in bed.
No monkey blood that time?
No monkey blood. And
Imagine how confused that
bullshit.
poor jellyfish was. Like,
Yeah.
it's just being squeezed. Like, is this a predator? Is this? Am I dying? Is this it?
I was like, we're
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Meg's going, friend, and it's like, kill it. Kill it.
Sting.
So they put, what'd you say? They put meat tenderizer on you? Is that what you
yeah,
said?
meat tenderizer is like a very common, like, homeopathy type thing, and it does not work. It's bullshit, and it did not make it feel any better.
What about urine? Does urine work? That's always the
You know what?
myth
No
out
one
here,
peed on me. I assume the optics of that wouldn't have been a good idea,
That
so
probably would've been
nobody
bad.
peed on me.
Has
What if it
anybody
was
got a
monkey
piss?
pee?
Can
Yeah.
somebody come piss on this kid? You'll save her life.
Any volunteers out there?
That, I mean, is that
Jesus.
real? I don't know if that's real or not. They always say
Let me
it's
tell
A real
you-
thing. It's a real thing that
Let me
people
tell
say it a lot.
It is. It's a real thing that people say. But I will say that before this episode, when I was coming up with my facts, I was like, let me quadruple check that Portuguese man of war are in South Padre Island before I have another monkey blood incident on my hand. They are. Okay, they are. They are. Yes. Okay.
Well, yeah, when Chilled was like, listen, those are only in the Pacific. I saw the chat start going, no, they're in Jersey.
I wanted to call out Phil just because I knew he was totally bullshitting that answer, but I just kind of wanted to let him let the stupid out for everyone's
I think he handled that with Instagram alone.
He's threw me for a loop.
It's one by one. There's depth of field. None of this is adding up. But so Michael, when, how old, and what happened with you wetting yourself in school?
This is funny, and this is pretty on brand. And it was funny hearing Meg's story, which I feel like is probably the casual story of like, I peed my pants in school and it was embarrassing. And mine was, as I recall, I was the same thing. I was in like 1st or 2nd grade, so you nailed that. But I remember asked to go to the bathroom. I really had to pee, and it was like in the middle of class. And I asked to go to the bathroom, and the teacher told me to wait, that I couldn't go. And I got so mad, I pissed in defiance. I went, all right, well, if I can go to the bathroom, I guess I'll just piss my pants. And I remember vividly, it was those old like wooden chairs, you know, with like the scoop butt, you know, like they had plastic and wood. It was wood.
God.
And I was just sitting there, and it was like, you know, I couldn't do it now, even if I wanted to, because I'm an adult and my body would refuse. Like, no, you can't piss yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But as a child, I just let loose, and I just pissed and pissed and pissed. Where like it was sopping in the seat, like through like
God.
the seat was, that scoop was filling up, and then I was like, hey, I need to go to the nurse. I pissed my pants. And it was the total opposite, where Meg was like, oh, the teacher, like, you know, the teacher was like, God damn it. And like, I got like sent to the nurse. There's like a phone call to my parents, like, yeah, he pissed his pants. No, it was on purpose. And I went, you should have let me go. I had to go to the bath. Hey, fuck you. I'm pissed all day. Because as Shield said, everybody's pissed, and I don't care. I'll piss myself right out of class, and that's what I did.
Right.
I really don't remember the specifics beyond that, but I do remember that it was a
Did they get a
fiasco.
little lost and found thing and like, you know, pick out the clothing from the kids?
No, I think they. Well, no, they had. It wasn't full on lost and found. They were equipped for that situation in the nurse's office. It was probably like a
Diapers, yeah.
pair of sweatpants or something.
Oh yeah.
Wear this,
Oh, God.
pisser.
And then the janitor got sent in, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm
Go
sure
clean
some
up
poor
the
bastard
fine
had to
child.
clean up. And he was like, "Oh, another accident." And they were like, "No, he did it
Honestly-
on purpose."
They should have made the teacher clean it up.
Look,
Teachers
oh,
always
God,
had that
don't-
weird thing where it's like you get back from recess and you forgot to use the recess to go to the bathroom because you're having fun. That's recess.
Yeah.
And you ask to go, and they're just like, no, you
You
should have
just
done
had
it.
45 minutes. You didn't use the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah.
hold it.
It's like,
And I
yeah, well, now
thought,
I'm all filled
you-
up, so this
you
is
know
going to
what?
happen.
You hold it. Boom. Roasted.
God.
Roasted
Roasted.
him.
Now I'll piss myself.
I'll pee all goddamn day. I looked at him, I went, I can do this all day.
So Diction, this is the other one. So the one that Chill didn't manage to get correct in the envelope game was that you were telling the truth about this porn studio. So what were you going for? Like, why were you there again?
So my roommate at the time was a project or producer at MetaCafe. It's a website that doesn't exist anymore. And so they would do promos for like movies and stuff like that. So she was doing one for the Dickie Roberts movie with Nick Swartzen. And the idea was doing inside the actor's studio, except it's inside the actor because the whole movie is about porn and stuff. And she needed extras to be in the audience watching the interview. And so I wore a big bunny rabbit suit. I guess I was supposed to be a furry. I sat next to the actor who was in every like Adam Sandler movie. He was Grandma's Boy, the main character in Grandma's Boy. Super nice dude, sweetest guy in the world. But I felt so bad for him because the entire time he had like a ball gag in and was wearing like leather and stuff, and he looked really uncomfortable. But he was a real champ about it. And I actually got a photo with Nick Swartzen. He really liked me. And he actually like followed me on social media, and we texted for a while for a couple of years, just like buds and stuff. I went and saw a show of his a couple of years ago and went backstage and hung out with him and stuff. So yeah, actually happened. Also,
all crazy stuff happens to you. I should have known that.
Yeah. And the worst part about the bathroom, because I did have to go to the bathroom at one point, I was like, I made sure like only once and only number one. I don't want to be in there any longer than I have to. And I went into one of the stalls and I'm doing my business, and I just kind of casually look around and was like, yep, there's a camera. And then I looked down and was like, oh, there's a glory hole. Okay, cool. So I vigorously washed my hands. And then I remember at one point when we were wrapped up, someone had mentioned, the PA mentioned, like, we have a sex robot here in the studio. And I'm like, what? Like, is he working right now? And they're like, no, he's stored in the back. So we all went in the back, and it looked like Johnny Five from Short Circuit. Like, no joke.
Nice. Who
like,
doesn't want to bang
It had male
that?
genitalia. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Is it working? You know, make sure it gets
Wow.
its card stamped.
Jesus Christ. There was a lot of stuff. Michael said before the episode too, when we were going over like how to play the games and we said what post we were using, and we showed the baby face down. He immediately started laughing, and he said he was like, I love that the audience will immediately know that I have posted a baby face down on the beach, but Shield will have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, you put it together, but that was not that long ago. I posted that when we did Shark Week for Discovery Channel last year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is
And
that,
so we
is that
were-
why you were there? You were
Yeah.
doing
Yeah, that's why I was there. I was there with Gavi and Bernie, and we were just at the resort where we were staying when we did some shoots in Florida, and then where we actually dove with sharks was in the Bahamas. And I got to that beach, and that baby was just eating sand, and I thought that's funny. Let me post a picture of it with a skull.
right, like goddamn.
Shark Week's going well.
Yeah,
Like-
dude.
Nick and Christian send me, a list of like, people's facts and then a bunch of social media posts and stuff, and they highlight what ones we think we should use. And normally I just go, yeah, those are all great selections. This one, I was like reading through all of them, and I was like, I feel like we have to hear this monkey blood thing. When I saw that, I was like, we gotta hear this because it was so weird. And then I clicked through people's posts, and there was a lot of funny posts that were like, we can get the context of this, whatever. And I click on the Instagram one and just see that baby in the sand. And I went, we're using
Yeah,
this one.
dude.
Yeah.
So funny. Like,
It was a gift. I saw it and went, that's a whole bunch of likes just sitting in the sand.
Just sit
know,
there unattended.
we almost used one from Meg. It was a Twitter reply where she was talking about like a stuffed Charizard. Someone had said like, oh, if you leave the Charizard behind, something, and Meg's response was but he's so big. And that was gonna be the quote, and we were gonna have people try to come up with lies around that.
Wow.
It was,
Oh my God.
it was when I was in Japan and I was trying to figure out which arcade prizes to bring back from the arcade. And I ended up taking that Charizard and just giving it to some girl. I think one of them I gave away to some girl in arcade, and one I brought home.
But he's so
Nice.
big.
No. But he's so
Dude,
with
can
like
we
a
just
bunch
say-
of eyes.
My favorite thing about this whole episode was how confidently you thought I was British. Like,
Right. Like,
I was
where did that
impressed
come
that you-
from?
I was
Tell
impressed
me
you
where
lost the
that came
accent.
from.
I don't know. I don't know why I thought you were born in England and you just worked on losing the accent. I don't know why.
Worked
Just
on-
Do you
that's
think
my
that
lore.
it's illegal for Americans and British people to be in relationships? You have to all be born in the UK
Right.
to get
Maybe
in.
subconsciously in the back of my head. Maybe I don't know.
A Brit would never want someone from Texas. Absolutely not.
an
Oh,
American
that's
and a British
colonies.
after the war? Not gonna happen.
Right.
And this
All right,
economy.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. I really am glad we cleared that up.
Never. All cleared up.
England or Texas made me laugh so hard.
I didn't hear a hint of English, but it was. I'm like, wow. She's,
Yeah, I
she's
wonder
been-
why.
Well done, well done. And then I think your first question was, "Where are you from?" And she said, "I was born in Houston." And then the next game, you went, "So you're British? So where?"
Yeah. You're like, where'd you grow up? And I was like, oh,
Haven't you
Houston.
ever
I
heard
moved
of
to
Houston, comma England?
Yeah, well, her parents could have been on holiday, you know.
There you go.
Be born here.
Austin, and I wouldn't have the
Those
accent.
holidays.
Oh, you worked really hard on losing it, Meg. This all
Well,
makes sense.
you were
Okay, yeah.
abandoned on the beach like a baby, face down.
Yeah,
so.
once again,
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
McCooing his way all the
Hugging
way.
Also,
jellyfish.
can I now? I will say, based on your lie, can you now do a photo shoot as that baby?
I know. I was telling Gab, I was like, this is going to be really hard for me because all my Instagram posts are me. Like, I had a social media manager go through my social media and say, like, if you want to be you want to be more successful on Instagram, you have to show your face in pretty much every post. And I was like, this is obviously not my face. I don't know how I'm going to lie because my Instagram feed is so much me. And I was like, it will make sense if I
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
It was 4x3. I never thought it was you.
Jill didn't know that rule.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the Instagram rule. Of course, this can't be Meg. Meg's not in it. This would never
I
fly.
show that.
No clicks.
A blurry background.
Now, where did
It's
you
not
get this?
from year.
Where did you get this picture developed?
Yeah. I'll tell you, when Dixon's in a 6-year-old photo, though, it's just like, this is too crisp and clear to be a phone from 6 years ago with that
Dude,
depth of field.
the iPhone 7 was out 6 years ago.
That's what they all
Yeah,
say. I
I
don't know.
really
get
good
what
camera.
Jill's saying, but I think we
Or-
live in a world 6 years ago. I think it would have been possible.
What year?
it-
It was 2007, like 6 years ago. We
Also,
weren't taking good pictures back then.
The filter the filter on Instagram has been there since the get-go. Like,
Yeah,
But I
just
will
have-
say-
I know you could take 4x3 photos on Instagram. Clearly, that was not an option.
I don't want to give Chilled credit because he's wrong about literally everything. But I can guarantee you that photo specifically was me going, wow, this new portrait mode is awesome. And that's why, right.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give you that credit. But that was portrait mode. That was relatively new on that phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw
all
that.
right,
I'm like,
guys.
yeah, portrait mode. Yeah.
Thank you for coming by and telling all these stories. That was a weird one, that episode. But thanks again, Chilled, Meg, Michael, and Diction for coming by, and thank you for being first members and watching the post show. We'll see you next week for another episode of Chump and another post show with a whole new cast of characters. And yeah, thanks. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.